Hey everybody, Dylan Distraction here, coming to you live from Batlantic Studios. Thought I'd do a quick back to the drawing board talk about comic book shorts on my drawing table. And let you know, Nuke Force coming to Kickstarter soon. I don't know when. I'm going to do it this summer or this spring. I don't know. I'm working on it. So yeah, looking at these great artisan editions, trying to get inspiration for some of this thicker, blockier inking. I like the look of this sort of classic inking. So I've always got these kind of nearby. All right, this John Romita stuff, love this stuff. So looking at this sort of thicker, blockier inking, just think it's so interesting and so fun. Feels kind of classic, those thick holding lines. So I'm gonna try to ink this, so I'm gonna just ink it with a brush. Why not? Who cares? I don't care. Well, I'll ink it with the brush and then these two, which are like brushes, but they're not brushes. I wonder if there's another one like this. Probably somewhere. Yeah. Probably inking one of these. Guess we'll find out. We're going to find out together. Let's try this one. Let me move some of these so I don't get ink on everything. I don't think I would. If I move these out of the way, then I definitely won't. So these are all covers. These are going to be available in the Kickstarter campaign. So if you want one of these covers from Nuke Force issues, let me know. Front and back covers. I'm thinking I'm going to offer these as reward levels. Let me know what you want to do on these, what you would be willing to pledge, how much you'd be willing to go in on to get these covers. I think they came out great. Currently I have 4 of them. So issues 1, 2, and 3, I think, would be represented here. So yeah, check them out. Let me know. They'll be available, and if you want one, if you're like, oh man, I really love that first blah 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 blah, be like, oh, okay, cool, let me try to hook you up. All right, see how this goes. Ooh, I don't think I do a lot of just straight inking with a brush. Probably because it's hard. Yeah, you know, if it was easy, then everybody'd do it. Cool, that looked good. So yeah, I was just fan casting who I thought would be perfect for Marvel and DC Comics, who I would hire to be artists on some of my favorite comics. And I would love to hear from you. So what are some artists that you think would be great on some current books? It feels like there's so many artists I love that are just not doing stuff right now, or maybe they are doing stuff or working on stuff, but I don't know what it is. So, because I don't pretend to know everything or be up on everything, so it's quite possible that there are artists working on projects that I'm unfamiliar with. But like Greg Capullo right now, he did that Wolverine series, and I didn't read it, but I looked at it and it looked cool. It's on my to read pile somewhere over there. So I'm gonna probably read it. I feel like I have so many things on my to read pile. I don't know when or how I'm gonna get to all of it. I was just reading Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four, and that's, I don't know, 15 years ago that came out. He's done a lot since then. And so if you're like, oh man, Professor Andrews is really behind the ball, it's like, yeah, no, I don't have a lot of time to read a lot of stuff. Honestly, it's tough enough to just get out and shoot some of these videos. So it's tough. I mean, I get it. There's a lot of great entertainment out there and a lot of great things. Somebody's like, oh, did you see that Captain America Falcon, whatever, Brave New World? No, I haven't been to a movie in a while. Hope it's good. I don't have any idea. Hope everybody loves it. But I haven't been to a movie in a while. You know, it's not that I don't want to, but I just have a tough time sitting still that long, honestly. That's part of it. The other part of it is I just don't really care. You know, I love comic books. I go to the comic book store. I don't need to go to the movies. Like if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna go to a comic book store. That's what I'd prefer to do. But everybody's different. Everybody likes different things. So yeah, fan cast. I had quite a few selections that I was pretty happy with my picks. I don't remember what any of them were. And I was like, oh man, I wish I knew the names of more current creators. You know, like I wish I could rattle off like, it's like Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, Rob Liefeld, Eric Larson, Jim Valentino, Will Portasio. I wish I had that sort of Rolodex for like guys who are or creators who are working right now, but I do not, and I don't know why that is. Like I don't know. Like I think Ryan Stegman and Ryan Otley, those guys are great. I don't know what they're working on right now. Like I don't know. I don't know. Invincible, maybe. So I think that that's something that needs to be kind of figured out, is the way that you promote the heck out of these creators. Like, you know, current crop of talent, like it just doesn't seem like they're. I used to be able to tell you the names of everybody who was on everything. Now I don't know. Maybe it's because they move around. Pepe Larraz doing Spider-Man. I'm like, yeah, I know that guy's work. He did that House of X, Powers of 10 stuff. That guy can draw like a son of a gun. Like, yeah, get him on something. So he's working on Spider-Man. I'm gonna check that out. That's dope. But it's tough because I don't think there's a lot of creators right now that are gonna move the needle like that. But I don't know. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe you're like, oh, you gotta check out so and so. Be like, yeah, I don't know who that is. And I'd like to get better at that, but it just feels like artists aren't sticking around or aren't promoted as much as they used to be, possibly. I don't know. Like, I love that Joshua Williams Flash run. Yeah. Joshua Williamson, pardon me. Flash run. Joshua Williamson Flash run. Great Flash run. Got the omnibus. Loved it. Such a great run. Great writer. Couldn't tell you. Howard Porter did some stuff in that. I know his work. He did JLA with Grant Morrison 100 years ago. Howard Porter's wonderful. I love his art. Paul Pelletier might have done a couple issues. Paul is a rock star. I didn't put Paul on any books. Oh, man. I would let Paul choose whatever book he wanted. He's that good. He's earned it. Paul, I'm not going to fan cast you on anything in particular, buddy. You pick whatever you want. You want to do Wonder Woman? Go for it. You want to do Justice League? Do it. You want to do Suicide Squad? I'd read that. You want to do Titans? Sure. Whatever Paul Pelletier wants to work on. You can have a long run. You want to do Batman Beyond? Yeah. If that's the kind of stuff you want to draw, you choose it. He's earned it. Paul can work on whatever he wants. But yeah, my point is with the Joshua Williamson, I always call him Joshua Williams, like a knucklehead. Joshua Williamson's Flash run, which I love. I don't know a lot of the names of the artists, and I don't know why that is. Like, I love the look of a lot of them. They did some great work, but I don't know who they are. Like, I could try to look it up. I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm not smart enough to remember. That's probably on me. You're probably like, idiot, these are the best artists ever. You should remember this name, this name, this name, this name. I'd be like, oh man, that's right. I should remember that. I'm an idiot. But I don't know. So hopefully other people do, because it's really unfortunate that I used to be able to name who was on hot books. All, you know, that was part of the fun. But now it's like, I don't know who these creators are. And it makes it tough too, because if you're like, oh, so we got so and so on this, I'll be like, yeah, I don't remember what they did, and then you'd have to remind me, be like, remember they were on that Flash run you really liked? I'd be like, oh yeah, they were great. How come I didn't remember that person? And I wasn't sure with the Absolute Batman with Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta. I didn't know Nick Dragotta's art. Like, I hadn't read East of West, and now I'm going back and reading the Hickman Fantastic Four, and I'm like, oh, Dragotta's all over this. Like, he did quite a few kind of beautiful issues, and he had that sort of already full Nick Dragotta. Nick Klein's another one I never think of. I'd love to see him on more stuff. He's doing Hulk right now. And so you're like, oh man, Dragotta's been doing that for a while. Like, I didn't know. Like, I just never was a guy who was on my radar. And then you put him on that Batman book and you're like, oh, boom, bam, boom, bam. Like, this guy's crushing it. Like, this is dope. I didn't know this guy could do this kind of stuff. And I just hadn't read East of West. I'm gonna, like, they're coming out with a compendium. I'm gonna do it. There's a compendium coming out. I'm gonna read, or put it on my read pile, or flip through it. When I say read something, probably means I'm just gonna flip through it, but flip through it with intention of reading it. It's hard for me to sit down and read stuff. So yeah, doing this all with a brush, going fine so far. I'm not super psyched about. The thing is, when you're drawing your own stuff, I'm sure a lot of people can kind of attest to this. It's like, I don't know. It's always, when I love looking at comics and reading comics. I love making comics, but I'm not the kind of person that looks at their own work and goes, oh yeah, nailed it, put it on the fridge, best thing ever drawn. Nah, that's not really how this works. The process of it is enjoyable. It's relaxing, but I never admire my own stuff. I just don't. It doesn't. Sometimes I'll be looking at something I drew and be like, it came out okay. I'm gonna do the face with a brush pen though, just to give me a little bit more control. Should have done the face first, and I'll tell you why. You totally butcher the face, then it's a lot easier to scrap the drawing, right? You totally butcher the face, you can be like, well, that was a waste of time, I'll start over. But if you save it till the end, and if I drew all this other stuff already and that came out okay, but luckily for me, I am a semi-professional. Yeah, that works. I can use this little brush pen, kind of draw some of these lines. Those lines. Jawline. It's one thing I find when I'm drawing, when I'm inking directly over my own pencils, I have a heck of a time seeing what I have and haven't inked. You know, I'm like, oh yeah, that's been inked. I'm like, oh, that's just a raw pencil. That happens quite a bit to me. I'm gonna flip it and kind of look at the reflection of it. Yeesh. It looks like a horrible, horrible drawing. Yeesh. Okay, well. Yes, it is what it is. Too late now. Whatever. It's all just part of the fun. But yeah, I can see this shoulder's weird looking, but whatever. Whatever. Just a drawing. This is one of those ones that draw traditionally and then go in and Procreate and have to clean it up quite a bit. But that's fine. That's why they make digital products like Procreate. They can clean your stuff up. It's less terrible. And then, I don't know how I'll do the effects around the hands. I'll just ink them. So yeah, I got a new sketchbook. I'm super psyched about that. But drawing a lot in my sketchbook, which is nice. And honestly, my work currently, I think I'm pretty happy with how things are looking. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff I want to improve on and grow and change and evolve, but I'm really psyched that I've had a lot of this winter to just kind of work on stuff and do drawings, and that's been really nice. So I'm appreciative of that. I'm happy with how things look, and I'm super psyched to have the Kickstarter for Nuke Force coming out this year. I'm really working hard all winter on the series, and I hope people like it. I hope people like this idea, like a retro, futuristic superhero team. I'm a fan of the story I'm telling, so hopefully you like it too. And I want it to feel big and expansive, so I'm hoping that people jump on board and they're able to kind of get with it and enjoy it and support it, and then I can keep doing it. So, and I'm gonna offer the covers. So again, if you want any of those covers, let me know, and I can let you know when the campaign's live and jump right in and grab them. First come, first serve sort of thing. And if you grab those covers, then you'll have a kind of important piece of the whole series. I didn't do a lot of traditional illustrations for the comic. A lot of it's done digitally in Procreate. Those covers are really how you're going to be able to grab original published art from this series. So hopefully you dig that. That's something you want to get. Cool, good. So I'm starting to split. What happens is the tips start to like feather out. I like a nice sharp. I'm gonna over render it. A couple lines here and there. Good enough. I'm gonna flip it over and be like, oh god, that's horrible. But close enough. Like, sure, we'll call that good. So anyway, thank you so much for your time and attention. I appreciate everybody following along and watching Nuke Force come to life. Dylan Distraction, Dylan Andrews Art, make comics cool. Check out my affiliate links. Okay, thanks. Bye.